Hi guys, welcome to the Oasis Healing Temple. Thank you guys for joining me here today. For today's reading, I wanted to tune into the elemental kingdom of the Gnomes to connect and tune into their energies. They work really closely with Mother Earth. They protect and provide sacred space. You know, they tend to the soil, they tend to the vegetation of Earth, and I wanted to see what information wanted to come through for us today, what is going on in our soil in the inner world, and see what guidance they can offer us today. So let's go ahead and pull our significator cards to help you choose and tune into the reading, the piles that are calling you. It may be more than one, maybe just one. Just follow your intuition and your guidance. Don't try to force anything. These are collective readings, so some of the messages that come through may not be for you. Take what resonates and leave the rest. Pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. What we have for pile number 1. We have this card, and that is with the Rainforest Rhyolite crystal. I chose stones of the earth. I mean, all crystals are from the earth, obviously, but these for me had specific meaning. For pile number 2, you have this card, and that is with the Septarian. And for pile number 3, you have this card, and that one is with the Kambaba Jasper. Obviously, everybody knows we have a peacock. He makes his presence known in almost every one of my readings. Okay. So these are the pile choices for today. Go ahead and pause the video if you need more time to meditate and tune into the messages that are meant for you today. So the timestamps will be listed in the description box below, and I'll see you all at your reading. Welcome to your reading, pile number 1. These are your messages from the Gnomes. So, and it's about, you know, when we think of the Gnomes, when I relate and connect to the Gnomes, elementals, I think of my internal world. It is the unseen, the roots beneath the surface, going deeper, you know, your sacred space, your inner world, and connecting to those energies. And the seeds that are being sown, tending to the roots that are, you know, growing there, whether they're weeds, and pulling out the weeds, pulling out the thorns, you know, the wounds and everything like that. So you were drawn to this card here, and the Rainforest Rhyolite. And the Rainforest Rhyolite helps us to find balance and harmony between mind, body, and spirit or soul. And it relates to also to the earth and water, because we have, you know, it's from the rainforest, so they are trees that can withstand a lot of moisture. You know, it's the emotional body, and I feel like there is some healing, some wounds that need to be tended to, the way that you perhaps see yourself, because in this card we have all of these mirrors and windows, and I feel like there is a particular illusion or perception that you have, some way of maybe perhaps seeing yourself or seeing an experience, and there is some healing that needs to be taken place. So the Gnomes want you to go within and reflect on your, you know, like your core wounds, and I feel like there's some healing that needs to be taken place in the emotional body. Some emotional wounds need to be healed, and the way that you are perceiving something needs some enlightenment, needs a higher perspective, because we have this light coming in through the window here, and so there's something that you need to shine your awareness on. I think there's something beneath the soil, something growing in the garden that needs to be healed and pulled out. Or there may be something, a wound that needs your mothering, nurturing energy. You know, there's something that needs to be tended to in the soil. All right, let me see what else is going to come through for you. Is this mine with green fluorite? Perfect. So yeah, there's some type of illusion. There's something that you have rooted within the soil in your subconscious mind, a belief system, a perspective, an idea, a program that has you, you know, trapped or held down. You know, it's holding you back. It's keeping you like a prisoner because it's not the truth. It's an illusion. And it's something that's within the mind. It is a perspective of a belief. It can be old programs that have been passed down generationally, a perspective, a way of seeing things, or a tradition, something that was spoken to you or taught to you, expected of you, that isn't the truth. You know, it doesn't serve you anymore. We got the rooster here. Yeah, where you need to stand up, you need to express yourself, shine your light. You know, there's something within that needs your attention here, that needs your perspective to shift. We have Water Guardian. Aha. Connect with your emotions. Yeah, there's some emotional healing that also needs to take place. So we have the heart and mind coming through these two cards here. There is a little bit of conflict between the way that you feel and the way that you have been taught to feel, or taught to see the emotions, or taught to maybe ignore your emotions even, and to only focus on the outside and ignore, you know, that inner realm, how you feel within, what is your personal truth. And I feel like there may be some emotions from the past that are holding you back or keeping you in a limited space. Yeah, they're preventing you from, you know, achieving your freedom, a goal. I feel like your soul wants to be set free. Alright, let's see what else the gnomes want you to. We have the White Witch, be the light. Yes, shine your... We have this light coming in. There's a shift in perspective that needs to take place. You need to go within the soil, into your roots, and find what it is that was planted and seeded so long ago that's no longer serving you. You know, it's like an emotional wound. It's creating, you know, this emotional discord. It's not serving you. Your reality isn't matching your truth, you know, how you truly feel. Maybe you've been doing something to please others, and it isn't your actual truth. It's just it's something that you were taught, something that you believe from long ago, and you've been carrying it forward, and it's actually preventing you from moving forward and stepping into your glory, onto your right path even. It's preventing you from seeing your true self. Ooh, we have the Tree of Life, fertility, creativity, destiny, magical blessings. Yeah. This is something that comes from, you know, family. It's something that has been generationally passed down. It's been in the root, and it's something that needs to be, you know, trimmed, cut off, because it's not anything that's going to be fruitful. It hasn't been serving you. It hasn't been giving you that security, that foundation of love, of prosperity. It's not providing a healthy root system. You know, it's something that is creating perhaps illness or discord, discomfort, unhappiness in your life. Yeah, I feel like it's preventing you from seeing your truth, from seeing your true self and connecting to your true emotions about something. And you're being asked to go within, to put your perspective, your light, your attention, your love, your nurturing energy into the soil. What was planted there so long ago that has created some kind of discord in your life that's preventing you from seeing the truth, from seeing yourself, and from moving forward. It's keeping you in a place of feeling trapped. Yeah, the kiss. Oh. And we have this eclipse energy, which is amazing because that represents, you know, the combining of masculine and feminine energies, the blending of the two, listening to our mind and listening to our emotions and understanding, you know, the purpose and the meaning behind them. It's questioning our mind, questioning our thoughts. Why do I feel this way? Where is this coming from? Why do I believe this? Why do I feel this? Questioning the emotions. Where does this feeling originate? Where did it come from? How long have I been feeling this way? How long have I been perceiving things from this perspective? Is this my truth? Is this something that I truly believe? Or is this something that I've been taught that, you know, as a child I believed it, but now as an adult it doesn't quite serve me? It doesn't give me perspective. It doesn't make me feel whole. It doesn't make me feel good. It's not my full truth. You know, it might be part of your truth, but not fully your truth. So I feel like you're not seeing things completely. I feel like part of it's been hidden. Part of your light's been hidden. Your full awareness, your third eye. I don't think you've been able to perceive the truth of the situation. And how this experience has created the version of you now, you know, in your perspective. And maybe it has been a root that's been growing for a long time, and it's something that needs to be released and let go of. We have the crone, right? And I feel like that is your wisdom coming through here, applying your wisdom, your truth, the way that you see things, listening to your heart more. And then we have the lover coming through here. It's training the mind how to perceive things and understand that, you know, it's our ego. When our ego was developed, it was created when we were children, when we were not in control of our situations. We weren't allowed to make choices because they were coming from a child's point of view and perspective. You know, children are very naive. They're very confident. They're like the fool. They're ready to go on any kind of journey and experience, and they don't think about the consequences. They only just act from a place of impulse and spontaneity, and they don't have the wisdom of the experience yet. They only know, you know, to live free in the moment. And sometimes if they don't pause and reflect and think, well, what happens if I climb this ladder and slip and fall down? You know, I mean, they aren't thinking about the possible consequences. I don't think their mind hasn't developed enough to look at all the potential realities that could happen from this one choice that we make, right? And until we get older, after we've made all these choices, because now you're several years in, and let's say you're in your adulthood, and you've made many choices, you understand consequences to choices, and so therefore you're able to make a more conscious choice then, because you have thought about what could happen if I do this, and what can happen if I choose this instead of this, and what may happen. Like, you think of all the potential realities versus a child who doesn't think, they just act before they think. Now is when you apply the wisdom. Now you understand what happens when we make certain choices, that there are certain consequences, and each choice has a particular outcome. And seeing that when we believe a certain type of way, it can limit us from, you know, happiness. It can limit us from moving forward. Hang on, the goats are coming. I'm gonna pause the video. Oh my goodness. Okay, so one of the goat mothers had her head stuck in the fence. So, you know, and everything that happens during a reason has meaning and purpose. And I feel like, you know, her message just then was that you are stuck somewhere in the past. Like, your mind is holding on to something in the past and it's not serving you. And it's something that needs to be released and let go of and shifted. Like, your awareness needs to go in to the soil, into your roots, into the beginnings, into your childhood, where this original program, this original belief system, this original idea, perspective, whenever it originated, and it needs your wisdom, it needs your love. This is a healing of the inner child here, going within and healing the inner child. What perspective did you end up believing, you know, the way, and this could be perhaps how you perceived yourself, how you saw the situation, the way that you felt loved. Did you feel ignored? Did you feel valued? Did you feel appreciated? Did you feel like you could speak your voice? You know, what perspective did you develop from your childhood that is keeping you held back, that's holding you a prisoner, that's making you see yourself in a different light, that's in a negative way, maybe a critical way, a harsh perspective that's not your truth, it's an illusion, it's something that you told yourself that you believed, and it's something that has been, you know, existing in your world, whether you realize it or not. It has something that has contributed to, you know, some unhappiness in your life. And everybody wants to be seen, everyone wants to be heard, everyone wants to feel valued and appreciated. And this is where you are now being given this opportunity to love and nurture yourself, and to nurture that child that developed this particular way of seeing themselves. And show them the truth. Show them who you really are. You know, love them, hug them, give them perspective, help them move forward, help them to understand that they are loved, they are appreciated, because you love and appreciate yourself, and you see your worth, you see your value. You know, it's tapping into your emotional body and your mothering energies that you yourself carry, and offer it to yourself. Pour into your own cup. If that was something that you didn't receive so much as a child, it's something for you to now learn to teach yourself to receive it now, by you pouring that love and affection and attention onto you, so that you can shift this perspective, you can shift the mind and heal the inner child. Hold your inner child's hand and comfort them and guide them back to a place of safety, back to a place where they feel safe and they feel secure, they feel nurtured and loved, because you were providing that for you. And that's going to create this beautiful blessing and creativity and optimistic energies, more synchronicity, more blessings, more growth, because you will be pulling out those weeds that aren't serving you, that aren't the truth. They're not something that you meant to plant, but they are something that, you know, is now taking up space in your garden. It served a purpose. It served to remind you of your truth and to go uncover your truth. You know, it's finding that buried treasure, which is something that the gnomes want you to see. They're helping you to reclaim your sacred space, to find the buried treasure, the treasure that lies within your own soil, within, that you have the potential to create and to manifest for yourself by you tending to the soil, you nurturing yourself, you tending to the roots, healing the roots, cutting off what isn't serving your family, what's not going to serve you moving forward. You know, plucking out all those weeds and you intentionally setting seeds of love and acceptance and appreciation and beauty, whatever, you know, you felt that you were lacking as a child. Oh, we have Father God, radical truth. Yes. When you work with the masculine and feminine energies, your heart space serves as the sacred center. And when we experience woundings as children, our heart gets, you know, broken and damaged. And we start to kind of hide versions of ourselves to protect ourselves so that we don't sustain any more wounds and damage. And our mind wants to protect the child, that is the masculine energy. It wants to protect the heart. And so it will do what it can to remind you of the pain that occurred so that you protect yourself. But unfortunately, when we created that mind, that ego, when it's coming from a child's point of view, it's very fearful and it's very untrusting. It can be very negative, very harsh, very critical. And that's because it was, you know, created from a child's point of view. And so what we, in growing and learning and achieving our wisdom, we start working to train the mind how to see things from our heart space. And we start trusting our heart. We start trusting our emotions and allowing them to guide us by allowing them to exist, because it is your truth. Your feelings are something that is raw. They are subtle. You know, it's picking up on the subtle energies of the environment. And sometimes our thoughts can control our emotions. And when we learn how to control our thoughts, then we learn how to just allow our emotions to be and know that they are a guiding system to show us what feels safe and what doesn't feel safe, and when to set up some healthy boundaries, or when to flow and move forward by tuning into the body and listening to those energies. You know, it's like your instincts, but we're working with our intuition and our instincts combined. I hope this is making sense. It is the masculine that is very, you know, instinctive and reactive, and our intuition listens and receives and tunes into what's not being said, you know, into the hidden realms, the subtle energies. And it's learning how to balance both of those out. That will make your inner child feel safe, because everything is being listened to, but we're correcting the negativity. We're correcting the illusion. We're correcting the false programming. We're healing the roots by giving each person a voice, but confiding, or comforting the fears and the worries and the places where we feel unloved or unworthy or unappreciated, you know. And speaking to ourselves from a place of love, you know, and truth and honesty, and being honest with how we feel, being honest with our choices, and taking responsibility for our choices, and that we choose what we believe. We have power over that. Nobody else can tell us that. As children, yes, we are told by our parents what to do, how to act, what to believe in, you know, and it's this traditional value that is, you know, generational, and just ways that everybody's done things, and this is how we do it, and this is what we've been taught, and you just kind of follow suit because your parents, you know, the children, parents are our gods. They're our teachers. They created us. So we want their approval, we want their love, and we are always looking to make them happy and to appease them. And sometimes we can continue to do so into our adulthood and not realizing that, you know, maybe their way wasn't the best way, but for them, that's the wisdom that they obtained. But now you take that and then you can grow from that. You know, those are the roots. That is the soil that you are given, but you can improve the soil. You can make your amendments to it. You know, it doesn't have enough love. It doesn't have enough compassion. It doesn't have enough appreciation or validation. So I'm going to put that in the soil. And the way you put that in the soil is by you yourself giving that to yourself. You speaking to yourself that way. You tuning into yourself and what are your needs? Where do you feel a lack? And start speaking to yourself and pouring that energy and love and nurturing energy into your own cup. And you can say your mantras. I am this, and I am grateful for this, and I am worthy, and I am deserving, and I am lovable, and I am worthy. All those things, because that is the truth, you know, and you have to see that that is the truth, and you have to believe it. You can't gaslight yourself into pretending that this is your truth if you truly don't believe it and feel it, you know. We have hunger. Yeah, I felt that there was a little bit of lack where you don't quite feel good enough, or you didn't feel like you measured up in some kind of way. And so there's like a little hole in your heart. And I feel like it's there for you to pour your love and your energy and your awareness into it. So find whatever it is that's in the soil that's been buried in there, that needs to come to the surface, that needs your love, it needs your attention, it needs your wisdom, it needs your support, and it's something that do with your childhood here with the tree of life. It's something that I feel is, you know, it's what they call one of the generational curses. But what curses are is they are a pattern that gets reinforced over time, you know, and it's a belief system that keeps getting passed down, and it's something that, you know, it's outdated and it needs to evolve, and that is why you are here. This is part of your purpose. You're here to bring in this new soil. You're here to heal these roots and to plant these seeds that are going to be more sustaining and more fertile, and it's going to produce more, you know, fruit that is sustaining. It has more longevity of love and healing and truth and balance and connection, you know. And that's what you want, and you have to work on healing the soil. Okay? Alright, I'm going to get some forest spirits for you. So, gnomes, can we have some forest guides come out? And I also have some crystals from the earth to help give you some support as well. Crystals that you may want to work on to help you through this healing process, okay? Alright, pile number 1, please. Okay. I have another one. Alright, and let's go ahead and get the crystal allies to work with you. Crystal allies. Okay, pile number 1 work. Okay. Any more? Okay. Okay, let's see. We have the skunk spirit distinction. Flaunt what makes you unique so that you can stand out and leave a lasting impression. I love that. Okay, so, you know, when you think about a skunk spirit, you know, skunks in general, the way that they protect themselves, you know what I mean? They put off like a distinct odor, you know, it's their protection, you know, it's like built-in protection. It automatically, like if they feel any kind of, you know, fearful energy, they immediately sound off, you know, this protection device here, their smell, their odor, to get their enemies to, you know, back off and to leave them alone. It's a protection mechanism. So I feel like because of this experience, because of the things that you've went through, it has taught you, you know, how to pick up on that particular type of energy. If you were ever to meet somebody who made you feel this way, like their energy, their presence, the way they talk, the way they think, you know, it reminds you of this place in your childhood where you had no power and you felt less than in some kind of way. You've now developed a, you know, an automatic, instinctual protection mechanism type thing. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think of what I'm trying to get at. Your heart will automatically read that energy and know to set up a boundary to protect yourself. This isn't somebody who wants the best for me. You know, this person is trying to get me to step away from my truth, to win their approval, because somehow, like, their approval means more to me than my happiness, you know. And see how people try to manipulate you and disempower you and prevent you from stepping into your light and into your truth and having your happiness. And because you've experienced these things, you are now able to pick up on that vibration when somebody's trying to manipulate you and steer you off track and guide you in a different direction to, you know, appease their energy or to fall for their illusion. It's time for you to stand in your truth and protect yourself and follow your instinct. But there's something that's unique about you. There's something, there's a reason why you were born into this family and into these programs. It is to bring healing to your family lineage. And I've had several of these come out. So there's been a lot of you who are on my channel who are the Starseeds, who are here to bring change, who are here to be this unique original energy versus a copy that's been passed down generations. You are here to be born into a specific family lineage to bring change. You have a unique code, a unique genetic makeup. Your programming, your patterning is different because you bring something new and original into this family lineage. So don't change or dim your light for anybody. There's a reason and a purpose for your unique beauty, okay? For your energy. We have the mouse spirit, confidence. Yeah, even the smallest actions can have a big impact. No, it's never underestimate your abilities. Thank you. Don't shrink away and hide your light for anybody. You know, you deserve to have space. You deserve to have happiness. You deserve to express yourself, to be your unique beauty, to sing your own soul song, to share your truth, your perspective, your vision, your wisdom. It is something that's needed. The world needs your truth. They need your light. They need your love. You need your light and you need your love. Okay, we have selenite, luminous cleansing protection. Alright, with its moonlight glow, selenite illuminates your spiritual truth and greater purpose. It aligns your chakras and raises your awareness to higher dimensions, opening communication to your spiritual team. It brings clarity to the mind and slices through any negativity or confusion. It cleanses your energy field and protects your aura. Selenite brings awareness to your subconscious patterns, highlighting what is ready to be healed. It activates the crown chakra and provides a doorway to personal transformation. Cleanse your way to clarity. I love that. Definitely work with selenite. If you don't have any selenite, I do have a crystal store online. You can find me on Facebook, Oasis Sacred Spaces, Pop-Up Rock Shop. We have a online store. We do live sales every Thursday at 7 p.m. You are welcome to come join. We do have wall sales, and of course we do have selenite always in the shop. Alright, so selenite is also a stone to help you connect and tune into the emotions. It cleanses the emotional body. It has a strong connection with the moon. And you know, the moon rules the emotional body, the emotional waters. So definitely work with selenite to help cleanse the emotional body and purify anything that's blocking you or preventing you from moving forward or loving yourself, okay? Alright, next we have kunzite, love, femininity, and transition. As it breaks down barriers surrounding the heart, kunzite offers unconditional love to heal lingering wounds. Kunzite helps you to feel safe while being vulnerable, allowing you to express your love authentically and expansively. A highly vibrational stone, kunzite's protection can be used as an energetic shield that surrounds your aura and protects it against emotional vampires and negative influences. This stone aids in feminine rites of passage from puberty to becoming a mother. Kunzite supports loving your body no matter what phase of life you're in. I love that. You have kunzite coming out, loving yourself no matter what, and going within and expressing your love to yourself, from a place of truth and honesty, listening to your emotions. And it also provides that protection against anybody who's an emotional vampire, anybody who wants to drain you of your energy. Like if you're happy and you're in a good mood, and then you have people who are around you and they don't want you being happy, and they kind of just like start throwing out negativity and bringing your energy down, bringing your vibe down, you know what I mean? Those, I call them like black holes. They just, when you're around certain people, like I was saying, you can feel the energy. You can feel their, sometimes like I know their intentions. That's because I'm very psychic, and so I can see things very, very clearly. And I know when somebody's trying to manipulate my emotions and trying to get me to feel sorry for them and have pity on them and, do their work for them, and versus somebody who is, genuine and authentic when they're speaking to you. You feel somebody's energy before they even begin speaking. So learn to tune into those instincts and have more confidence in yourself and in your standing in your solid ground, All right, let's see what we have. And the final card is Blue Spinel. Persistence, fresh perspective, and revival. Ooh. Revive to keep alive, it says. Blue Spinel brings new energy to stagnant parts of your life, from inside your body to the world outside. The name of the stone comes from the Latin word for spine, and blue spinel will give you a strong backbone, a sense of self, and a reason to stand tall despite any challenges that you may face. This is a great crystal for workaholics as it eases stress and anxiety and instills a renewed sense of resolution. You can make it to the end if you put your mind to it. Blue spinel provides that fresh perspective to reset and rejuice. Ooh, nice. What a great card to come out for you. Continue moving forward. Continue going within, loving yourself, seeing yourself, having more confidence in yourself and the way that you live and the way that you see things, the way that you feel about things, Take time to go within, reflect, spend time out in nature. That will also help you connect to the gnomes and remind you of the soil that you are amending. There's some corrections that need to be taken place. There's some weeds that need to be pulled out, some old beliefs, old perspectives, old emotions that need to be healed and released so that you can move forward into your truth, into your light, into your higher vibrational self, where you are going to be blessed. You're going to feel more balanced. You're going to feel more whole, more like yourself, more connected within, more appreciated, more loved. And you're just going to be more excited about and optimistic about your future. I'm telling you, pal number one. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let you go, you guys. Thank you so much for being here for this reading. If this reading resonated with you, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. If you feel like sharing your story, or if you don't know what to say, just let me know pile number one resonated with you. Please like and subscribe. Anything y'all can do to help me grow my channel. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here. Y'all take care and have a blessed day. Welcome to your reading pile number 2. So these are your messages from the gnomes. So as I was explaining in the introduction, the gnomes work with the earth, with the soil, with the roots under the trees. You know, they work with the inner realms and the seeds that we've planted that we can't see, but also, like I was saying, the roots that are in the soil, what's been planted long ago, that perhaps may need some weeding because they help us create sacred space. And you were drawn to the Septarian, which is a crystal that has been formed like a long time ago from in the mud, you know, and they represent confidence and being true to yourself, following your dreams and your passions, you know, and being that dragon. It's also called the dragon stone, so, you know, not being afraid to speak your truth, and it's also about being brave. So, and we have card number 33 is the one that you were drawn to, and it's this individual who is, you know, taking some time to rest, and I feel like you're being asked to go within and reflect, to pause for a moment, to rest, to go within, to tend to the soil, to tend to the roots, to see what's been going on in the background. Maybe you have some old tapes, old programs, old belief systems that are running that need to be shut down. They're outdated belief systems and programs. I use the analogy of a computer to explain, you know, our thoughts and our beliefs and how they can be going on in the background of our mind and our lives and creating a bunch of blockages for ourselves because we attain these belief systems in our childhood and our youth. And as we get up older, if we haven't gone in to reset and reboot and reprogram ourselves with our updated belief systems, they can actually be like wreaking havoc in our lives. You know, we can be living our life with this idea of how things are meant to be and how they are supposed to be, and it's not quite working out, you know. Whenever we try to make a choice or create shifts and changes, we don't quite see them manifest fully in our lives, and that's because there's a belief system there that's blocking us from receiving that outcome, from receiving the results of that change that we're implementing. And so when we take time to pause, to reflect, it gives us that time to reset our intentions, to reset our belief systems, to go within and do any kind of course correcting and ask ourselves and investigate our beliefs and our ideas and our thoughts and behaviors and habits that may be contributing to things not going in the direction we want them to go. Okay, so let's go into the cards and see what they want to reveal. We have the transmutation card with black tourmaline coming out. So with black tourmaline, and we have the dandelion, right? And dandelions can grow in all different types of soil types. They can grow in fertile soil, but they can also grow in very poorly nutrient providing soil. They are what they call weeds. They can grow anywhere through anything. And I feel like we can go through struggles and trauma and struggle in our childhood and our youth and still make a choice. We can still help create a life for ourselves that is worth living, that brings us happiness and joy and excitement, even though things from our past were very hard and very painful. We can still bloom, grow, and prosper from those experiences. We don't have to allow ourselves to be stunted and limited by those experiences, you know. And it's about growing through the mud, growing through the heaviness, growing through the density, the harshness, and the struggle and the pain, and still finding a way, finding the light, finding the love, still holding on to that faith and achieving our goals and our dreams. And We have transmutation coming out, and that is about healing the past, healing our wounds, and seeing things from a different angle and a different perspective, and attracting things into our life that match our belief, that match our thoughts, our emotions. And when we go within and we take that time to pause and reflect, we can understand how our emotions and our thoughts are creating our reality and attracting experiences and people into our lives that reflect our belief system, that reflect the reality that we believe we are meant to be existing in. And it's something that you may not even be aware of that you're doing because you haven't taken the time out to pause, reflect, and reset your programming, your belief systems. Even belief of how you see yourself and view yourself, you know, if you're even worthy enough to receiving. Are you opening those channels of receiving up for yourself? Or are you blocking them and holding back in any way? All right, we have the Direction Guardian. Choose your path. Yes, you have the choice. You can choose what you want to create for yourself, what life you want to be living, what are your belief systems. How do you want to move forward in your life? What do you want to create for yourself in your life? How do you want to raise your family? How do you view success? How do you view happiness? What feels like love to you? What feels like support? What feels like nurturing? You know, it's all those things. You get to be the one who's your boss now. You get to say how, who's allowed in your life, who you want to have a relationship with, what type of job you want to work at, where you want to express your creativity, what you want to do on your downtime, all those kinds of things. You get to be the one who's in control, and you get to make those choices. And there's always a choice that you can make to course correct, to choose something different. We have Stargazer. Set your sights higher. Yeah, I feel like you may have some disbelief in yourself, or you don't trust yourself or see yourself as worthy or good enough. And we have set your sights higher, seeing things from a higher point of view, seeing that you have the potential to create and live a life of your dreams. And you're closer to them than you realize. We have, you know, it's that make a wish on a star. You know, set your sights higher. Believe in the possibility. Believe in miracles. Believe that you can and you will, and be determined to let that be your mindset, you know. Don't let anything hold you back and hold you down and prevent you from being happy in your life. Lord, take charge with authority. That's what I'm talking about. See, and I felt that energy coming through. It's standing up for yourself, taking up space and saying, I deserve this. I'm worthy of this. It's claiming your destiny here, speaking your truth and having the right to have a voice. You have a right to your happiness, and it's being solid and rooted in your truth. Okay, we have reflection, illusion, self-examination, and distortion. Yeah, there's some programming that's in there. I'm not sure if this was this. I feel reading number 1 in here a little bit. Maybe some of you come over from reading number 1. But there is a perspective that you have that is false. And it's the way that you are seeing things isn't the truth. You know, it's an illusion. It's an old perspective and old ways of seeing something, and it needs your attention and it needs you to heal. So the gnomes are guiding you to heal something from the past, to take some time out to reflect, to pause before moving forward, because there's some perspectives that needs healing. You know, there's some an experience that you've had in your life that is holding you back and preventing you from moving forward. And I feel like there's some inner child healing, because we're working with the soil here, and you know, we're tending to the soil. Gnomes like to create sacred space, and our sacred space starts within our own heart. And a lot of our heart woundings come from our childhood, because we are young, we're innocent, we don't know, You know, we barely have control over our limbs, you know, to be able to understand our mind and our heart in an in-depth kind of way. You know, children just don't. We react. They act on impulse, you know, they just want to be carefree. You know, they don't have the wisdom that we get from being an adult. And so there's parts of us that have wounds from a child because we have a child's perspective and understanding of things. And so we now, as the adult, we have the authority to go in and heal our inner child and teach them and nurture them and offer our wisdom and our compassion and our understanding and our love so that they can grow up feeling more connected, more aware, have more understanding of what they were experiencing and what their feelings were and the environment that they were in, and that they no longer have to suffer in any kind of way, because you are taking charge now and you are deciding for both of you what it is that you're going to do moving forward and who you let come into your life and how you choose to love and be loved and be respected by you yourself, teaching the younger version of you that you are gonna, you know, defend your right to have a happy life, to have a peaceful life, to live the life that you want to be living, because you're now, you know, in charge. You're the boss of you. Nobody else can tell you what to do and how to live your life anymore. You know, you get that say so. You get to make the choice, to choose the path, and to follow your dreams and your destiny, and to step into that role, because that's what, you know, you're being guided towards at the moment. We have the eternal child coming out. What is it that you wanted to do as a child? You know, this is healing and nurturing that version of you, that innocence, that purity of you know, just entering in the world and having that childlike perspective of wonder and curiosity, you know. And there's nothing wrong with you, and seeing that we, unfortunately, sometimes we internalize things as there's something wrong with me because of this individual's behavior and the way they treat me and talk to me and the way they believe things about the world, and that somehow that is a reflection of you, and it's not. That actually is a reflection of them. But children take things personally, and we make up stories for ourselves, but they're not true. They're, for that child, that's the story that they created. That's the narrative, and that's where these wounds come from. It's the stories that we tell ourselves because we don't understand what's happening, so we have to make up a story to rationalize it so that we can understand it. And it comes from that child story. And so now you are the grown adult. You have this opportunity, and you actually have this responsibility, and you owe it to yourself to go within and heal that child's perspective and give them the truth of the situation from your adult perspective now, and where you are today, and how that served as a stepping stone to get you to this place in your life where you can finally stand up, where you feel strong enough, where you feel brave enough to stand up for yourself and say, I don't deserve that. And, you know, from now on, this is how I'm going to be living my life. And we don't have to worry about somebody treating us that way or talking to us that way anymore, because I'm not going to allow it. And comfort yourself and love yourself and give yourself that love that you needed as a child that you didn't receive. You know, whatever you needed in the moment that you were experiencing this trauma or this challenge, and be and give yourself what you need in that moment. So you're no longer in that place of suffering in the past and limiting yourself from achieving your goals and your dreams, okay? And we have the mountain. Okay, so the mountain can represent a couple of things. It can be the challenge that you must overcome, you know, but it's also that sacred space, that sanctuary within. And we have this individual going into the mountain, you know, it's entering that sacred space, going within and taking time to reflect on these wounds that you may have been holding on to that need your healing, that need your love and your affection in order for you to move forward and step into this higher path here. You may have felt a little isolated and alone on your journey, you know, and sometimes that can happen when we go through these wounds. Our heart wants to, you know, protect us, and so it shuts down and it puts up all these barriers and walls, and it prevents us from connecting to other people and connecting to our soul calling, you know, because when we experience these wounds as a child, it's painful, you know, and we don't understand what to do with these painful feelings if we're not taught how to process our emotions. And most people are not taught how to handle emotions, and so the emotional body is very immature, you know, and so it needs your love, it needs your affection and your attention, so that your child's emotions can then mature and grow up, and then can have that place of connection and unity within your heart space, so your heart doesn't feel so vulnerable. It can feel assured and protected, and know that you're always going to stand up and protect your inner child in your heart, and you're not going to let people push you around, boss you around, or take advantage of you anymore, you know. We have the Starborn. I love it. And it's under the Stargazer. So what was a way that you can connect to your inner child and into your heart space and reconnecting to that version of yourself? What was something that you enjoyed doing? You know, what was your passion? What was this is like your soul's calling here, your reason for being born, the reason why you incarnated here, your dream. And it's shooting for the stars here, remembering your truth, remembering who you are, not being afraid to shine your light. The cave, okay. Yeah, this is that retreat, going within to your heart here. Going into your heart and creating that safe space within, and take time to reflect, to rest, to rejuvenate, to reset, reprogram, clear out the weeds, and make space for this love that needs to come into your life, you know. And the more you take time to reflect, to pause, to go within, you create this energy of receiving, because the energy starts pulling in a different direction. It pulls energy towards you because you're going within. You've turned your gaze, your eyes, your attention inwards. And the more you're focused within, the more you start to attract things into your life. You start pulling the energy in. You pull in love because you're pouring in love to yourself. And the more you start pouring in those energies into your own being, the more you're going to attract those energies into your physical life, okay? We have the Altar of Air, clarity. Yes. Turning your gaze within and seeing things from a different perspective. We have these butterflies of transformation. It's changing the way that you see yourself, changing the way that you see, you know, life, your dreams, your vision, your path even, your experiences, your childhood. Shifting and clearing and changing the way that you have perceived things, and shining your light and your truth into your heart space there. We have energy, nice. Let's move these over here. Yeah, and I feel like the flower of life here, and that's the seed, you know, planting new seeds in the soil, new ideas, new perspectives, new programs. It's reprogramming yourself, right? So if we're going within the soil, we're going into the mountain, into the cave, we're looking in our past, into our roots, you know, what was seeded in my mind so long ago as a child, you know, what did I tell myself, what were my beliefs back then, you know, about the situation, or about who I am and what I believe, and finding the weeds that are in there, what is not your actual truth, you know, it's just something that you thought and you've been running with, but it's no longer serving you, you know, it's turned into a virus and a weed in there, and it needs to be pulled out. And now you've created this space within, and so We want to plant something in that space, in that void. So now we want to create something new. So what is it that you want to program yourself with? What seeds do you want to plant? How do you see yourself? How do you see your future? What are your dreams? What are your goals, your desires? What are you passionate about, you know? And how do you see yourself? And what you want to do is start nurturing those seeds by putting your attention and your focus on them, by putting your love into them. You know, I am worthy. I am going to achieve this goal. I am confident. I am brave. I am standing up for myself. I am worthy. I am lovable. I am deserving. You know, all of those things. And it's programming yourself with your new belief systems of how you believe and see yourself and your future. And nurturing your soil with that, putting that into your soil, amending the soil with these seeds, okay? Alright, I'm going to get you a few forest spirit cards and then some crystal allies. Messages from the gnomes, please. Whoa. Alright, we'll take the ones on the table. And then let me get you a couple crystal allies. Take this one. Okay, so let's see. Oops. So we have the chipmunk spirit with adventure. Strike out on your own to embark on a journey of discovery and realizations. Nice. Don't be afraid to be alone. Take this time to get to know yourself, to discover who you really are, to learn your truths, to learn your belief systems, you know, and shifting that perspective. Get clarity. We have the toad spirit with a leap of faith. Jump in fearlessly, knowing that every small step counts towards your ultimate success. Nice. Keep moving forward. Trust in yourself. Listen to your heart. Have faith. Each step going forward is still a step forward. If you find yourself falling into like your old patterns again, the idea is to bring your awareness to it and to catch it. As soon as you recognize, like, oh, nope, I'm falling into my old belief system and my old comfort zone, and this is my new program, this is the new one we're going to run, these are the new seeds I'm planting, and those are seeds I'm pulling out. You know, it's going to take you time to transform them, to transmute them. But the more you can bring your awareness to it, the faster you can do it. You'll get faster and faster every time. You will eventually not have to worry about correcting your system. It will just keep following suit. The more you keep interrupting and disrupting those brain receptors from feeding off of the old program, the quicker you can catch yourself running the old program, the faster you're going to be able to reboot yourself with the new program. Okay, so you just want to keep interrupting and disrupting those old tapes and old programs, and keep inserting your new programs and your new belief systems. And eventually you won't have to keep doing that work. They will eventually subside and you'll be running the new program, okay? Alright, we have the jaguar spirit with choices. More choices. Nice. Glean wisdom from the past and fearlessly follow the path that resonates with your soul. I mean, this one is like your whole reading in a card right here. You know, you have the choice to choose. Take the wisdom from the past, move forward fearlessly on the path ahead to the things that resonate with your soul. We have the crystal spirit with communicate, express yourself authentically and vulnerably to strengthen your relationships. Yeah, see, this is your heart and mind, learning to communicate with one another and seeing the truth of the situation. I'm going to put that over here. And you will achieve that goal by going within and reflecting, listening to your heart, understanding the programs and the patterns that are repeating in your mind, and creating that shift within. Okay, your crystal allies. These are crystals that you may want to work with to help you on your journey. We have Rose Aura Quartz, Heart's Desire, Love, and Divine. The energy of love vibrates on a soul level, penetrating the body through its many layers of tissue, all the way down to the cells. Rose aura quartz is a crystal of love with the ability to shift one's sense of self, provide nourishment for your growth, and transform fear and doubt into unconditional love, creating a strong bond to the universe. It creates a synergy between the pineal gland, located in the brain, and associated with your third eye and the heart chakra. Nice. Infusing your intuition with space to give and receive more love. I mean, isn't that awesome? What a great crystal to work with. So Rose Aura Quartz here to say that you deserve the type of love that you give, and it's time for you to receive that same love in equal measure, and to help you transform your fears and doubts into more of a sense of self and confidence in who you are. All right, you also have Jade, wisdom, abundance, and good luck. Jade is highly prized and sacred, a wonderful stone for protection and healing. Known as a dream stone, jade will stimulate messages and channel them into your dreams when placed on your third eye chakra. The ultimate good luck charm, jade promotes prosperity in every aspect of your life by opening the heart chakra and boosting your ability to receive. Wealth is nothing more than your health, and jade is a reminder of this true abundance, amplifying the good fortune of your vitality. Remember, you are a spiritual being having a human experience. I love jade. What a beautiful stone. Beautiful. Jade will help you to see your truth and your worth. Alright, we have Bumblebee Jasper with pollination, willpower, and new ideas. Sting like a bee. Bumblebee Jasper enhances creativity and helps to pollinate ideas, bringing them to life. The stone gives off a fighting spirit, having been formed in a volcano and containing a strong earthy energy that connects with the willpower of the solar plexus. Bumblebee Jasper also assists in alleviating allergies, soothing irritations, and nurturing one's overall health. Bumblebee Jasper encourages you to create a buzz, to let yourself be seen and heard for who you are and whatever new projects you're working on. Take pleasure in your gifts. I love that. That is amazing. What a beautiful crystal to come through here. So, I definitely think it's a great idea for you to be working with any of these crystals. I mean, all three of you are able to get a hold of them, which I do have a crystal store. The link is in the description box below. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and close your reading pile number 2. Thank you so much for being here. I hope this reading resonated with you, and if so, I'd love to hear your stories in the comments below. If you don't know what to say, just let me know pile number 2 resonated with you. Like and subscribe if these readings are your vibe. I'm sending y'all lots of love. Y'all take care and have a blessed day. Welcome to your reading pile number 3. So these are your messages from the gnomes. And the gnomes help tend to the soil. They are very good at gardening. They're very good at working with the roots. They help create sacred space, and they're also very good at uncovering buried treasure. So I wanted to work with them today to see what kind of information, what can we find on the inner realms, in our soil, in our sacred space, what information wants to come through, and what guidance they have for us. So you were drawn to this image and the Kambaba Jasper. And Kambaba Jasper is actually a blue algae. So I feel like there's something in the emotional body that wants to come through here today, or something that the gnomes want you to tend to. There's something in the emotional body that needs your attention. And with this card here, this is about, you know, the roles that we play, and the characters that are involved in our stories here. And there can be, you know, a little bit of manipulation here. But I want to go into your cards to see what information wants to come through before we read too much into this card. This is definitely about, you know, the roles that we choose to play in our lives. So something is an emotional body, I feel like, needs some type of tending to. So let's see. We have fall apart with smoky quartz. Okay. So yeah, there's something in the soil that needs to be cleansed and purified, and it's something in the emotional body needs to be let go of. Some healing that needs to take place, some type of nurturing where you can feel safe to grow from solid roots, a solid foundation. So there's something here that maybe the soil wasn't nurtured, maybe you weren't nurtured in a way that you need to be, or something of that nature. Something needs to be tended to. Let's just keep going. We have the drum, dream and journey. Okay, going within here. Alright, so you're being asked to spend some time in meditation and reflection, to go on a journey within. It has something to do with like your dreams, a journey, like your reason for incarnating, your purpose here. Something in your heart. Yeah, and there's a vision that's going to be revealed to you. Okay, what else we have? We have the seer. See beyond the current situation. Yeah, there's something that you're not seeing. Something needs to be seen in a different way. It's about listening to your heart and tuning into your intuition here. Going within and seeing something from a higher perspective. Yeah, because we have this manipulation coming through. So somewhere maybe you felt a little betrayed. There may have been a little heartbreak. Maybe something that was being shown to you, or an individual was, you know, presenting themselves in a certain kind of way, and they were, you know, kind of just playing that role, but they weren't being like true to themselves. And this could also be you. Maybe you haven't been being true to yourself, and maybe you've been playing this role and it's not really your truth. It's something that you're doing to maybe win approval or acceptance of others, and you just have been going along with it, but it's not, you know, quite your truth, you know what I mean? It's not your passion, your desire, you know. And this can happen with a lot of family businesses, where we take on, you know, these generational jobs because they're expected, you know, for you to just carry on the tradition in the family business, and it might not be something that your heart is in, you know. Just take what resonates for you. Those are just some examples of seeing things from this perspective, but I feel like there's something that needs to be healed, and perspective needs to be shifted. So some time to reflect and pause and go within, to understand what it is that's in the soil, what's within your energy field here that is causing you some type of conflict. There's a situation that needs to be shifted and seen from a different perspective. We have the Nine of Hearts, fulfillment, harmony, and protection. Nine of Hearts. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of perspective shifting, and as you start to see the truth for what it is, by tuning into your heart space, you're going to bring some healing. And I feel like you're being asked to, you know, tend to your heart, see things from your heart, see that higher perspective, and let this go, move forward in some way. Yeah, it's time for you to end the cycle and start a new path where you learn to follow your heart and tune into your intuition. We have achievement. Keep focused on your dream. Yeah, there's a vision that you have or something that you want to create, and you're being asked to step in to that role, or to go within to understand what it is that you want to create. What do you want to manifest? What do you want? What is your dream? How do you see your life? What's going to bring you this happiness? And let go of, having to be in a specific, role or position because of somebody else who wants you to live your life, for their approval. Because this is how they want you to live, because it will be what makes them happy, But what about you? What makes you happy? What's going to make you feel fulfilled, where you can act on your dreams, where you can create from your heart, from your source, from your center? What's going to make you feel fulfilled? It's fixing the rain here. Yeah, we just had the thunder, your soul calling. What gets you excited? What riles you up? Yeah, I feel like there's healing in the emotional body coming through here. We have the vow. This is that commitment. This may have been, part of your soul contract even, for this time, right here, right now, for you to wake up, for you to remember your soul calling, to remember your commitment even to yourself, to go after your dreams. And the time is now for you to make that choice, to begin to go on this journey, to begin to set yourself free, to liberate yourself. Yeah, some of you are liberating yourself from, having to be a specific person or have to live your life a certain kind of way because this is what they told you, or this is what they said, and this was them trying to have power over you and control your happiness and how you live your life, and what you dream of doing, and trying to limit you and keep you in a box. And this is you freeing yourself from being held down and being brave enough to stand up for your right to do so. Yeah, empowering yourself here. You're the mother of water, emotional self-care. Nice. Look at that. This is your heart practicing, acknowledging your feelings, your truth, how you feel, what makes you happiness. Allowing yourself to receive, love. And we have space. Okay, and you will be creating this space by letting go of what is no longer serving you. Getting into that soil, working with the gnome energy, amending the soil, what's no longer serving you, what needs to be pulled up out of the garden because they have been growing from a place of unconscious awareness, where we've allowed others to control us and manipulate us into believing and doing things for their benefit and their happiness. And it's time to let that go. I no longer want to be of service for their desires and their creations. I want to create for myself now, and I'm going to follow my dreams. I'm going to listen to my heart. I'm going to find my happiness. I'm going to achieve my goals. I'm going to set on this mission, this commitment that I have to myself, and learning to listen to myself, honor how I feel, honor my passions. And it's going to open up this space where happiness and fulfillment and love and success are going to come into your life, because you have made yourself a vessel to receive that energy. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, I'm going to get you a few forest spirits. Let me make sure that these are straight on my camera. It's starting to get a little bit dark outside. Alright, so I'm going to get you a few forest spirits to work with you, to offer you some guidance and support, some encouragement, and then I'm going to get a few of the crystal ally cards to give you some buried treasure wisdom. Alright, so those are the forest spirits that want to come through, and you got probably about 5. Alright, let's get you a couple of crystal allies. Wow. Okay, 1, 2, let's get one more. All good things come in 3, right? Wow. Well, in your case, they come in 5. That's a lot of shifts, a lot of changes, and look. We got 6 of those and 5 of these. 11, awakening. Nice. New beginning, new perspective, encouragement to keep going, you guys. Alright, here we go. You have the Wood Nymph Magic Touch. Use your gentle touch and intention to restore balance and heal yourself and others. Very nice. It's time for you to do some things that make you feel good. Restore that balance to yourself. We have the Stag Spirit with leadership. Stand tall as your true self and lead with confidence, integrity, and compassion. Yeah, you are here to show, to be the example of how to follow your truth, how to follow your passion, how to listen to your heart, and to, you know, fulfill your dream, your goals, your desires, your passions. We have the Water Elemental with purification. Dive deep into your emotions, finding healing and renewal in the depths of your being. Yeah, I love that you have the Water Elemental coming through. It's that purifying of the emotions and healing the ways that you love yourself and allow yourself to be loved and supported here. Oh, you got the unicorn! Yay! Wishcraft. Use your imagination as you wield your own magic and make your dreams come true. I love that we have that coming over the Seer card, you know, and seeing things from a higher perspective. See your unique beauty and your reason for being here. You're here to bring that change. You're here to be unique. The way that you see things is unique and different. And you have such a big heart, pile number 3. We have the 9 of Hearts, and we have this pink hair and this unicorn. I just feel like you're such a very loving, kind person. And it's time for you to receive love, to receive, you know, happiness for yourself. You deserve it. It's time for you to feel, you know, fulfilled by you restoring that balance within, you going within, and you learning to nurture yourself and love yourself and heal, you know, the ways that you allow yourself to receive and be open to receiving all the abundance and all the love and all the success that you are worthy of. You know, go within and fill yourself with that love. It's time to let go of these old manipulation tactics where you see things through other people's eyes and they're not seeing the truth. They're blinded, you know, they're wearing this mask. They're not even being their truthful self. And so a part of you isn't being true to yourself either. And so it's time for you to allow yourself to be loved, to see yourself, to see your beauty, to see your truth, you know. Ooh, we have happiness, yay! Hummingbird spirit, as you buzz through life, remember to enjoy the good times and live your joy. Nice, I love that. And your final forest spirit, we have the dragonfly perspective. Be flexible and willing to change direction if needed to get a broader view of things. There we go. Don't be afraid to change. Don't be afraid to shift and move and learn how to navigate through this new experience, through the journey ahead. You can always make a choice. You can always correct something. You can always start again, Don't beat yourself up if you make a mistake, or if you find yourself falling back into your old routine. Just keep making those shifts and that commitment to yourself and going within, keep reestablishing that balance and shifting your perspective, and you're going to accomplish this goal. You're going to achieve success. You're going to achieve this dream that you have. Alright, so the first crystal ally we have is Wavelight. Decisions, flow, and big picture. See the forest for the trees, especially with Wavelight. Big picture thinking is enhanced with this crystal, allowing you to see beyond the details and gain a better grasp over the decisions that you must make. Combining intuition and logic, Wavelight helps you look at all sides of a situation in order to make the best informed decision possible. Clearing energy blockages in the body, Wavelight sustains flow and regulates circulation for a healthy body and deep soul level cleansing. Use this crystal during the new moon to amplify its powers. Nice. Alright, see things from a higher perspective, tune into that feminine energy, and go with the flow. Follow your intuition. We have the agate stone with stability, grounding, and truth. A stabilizing stone, agate is used to balance the mind, body, and spirit, creating harmony in all areas of your life, much like the patterns on the crystal itself. Grounding and supportive, agate helps to reveal inner truths, cleansing beneath the surface to expose our authentic self. A wonderful stone to heal resentment, agate frees you from the self-imprisonment of inner anger, replacing it with safety and security. Agate takes its time, vibrating at a slow and steady pace, and encourages you to take as much time as you need, with the matter at hand. More confirmation to take your time, slow and steady, right? So that you can find your footing, so you can find your balance and resonate more deeply with your truth, so that you feel more secure, more stable, more grounded, and more connected. Okay, we have citrine spirit quartz. Nice. Intentional self-awareness and discernment. A centered and empowered stone, citrine spirit quartz asks that you take command over your life. By having clear intentions, you can begin to lead from a grounded and assertive place, giving you the results that complement your needs. Citrine spirit quartz enhances your sense of self-awareness, dissolving apprehension and self-doubt to clear the way for more confidence in your daily life, no matter what material things you may or may not possess. It is highly focused, an excellent stone for planning and goals. Ooh, that is a beautiful crystal to work with for you guys, right? And it definitely confirms what we were saying about empowering yourself and following your truth and standing up for, your dreams and what you want to create for yourself, and setting your intentions on your goals and keep moving forward. We have Tanzine Aura Quartz, enchantment, cosmic, and alchemy. Ooh, cosmic alignment is here. Tanzine Aura Quartz brings equilibrium to our multi-dimensional states, melding mind, body for spiritual balance. Nice. With indigo rays vibrating high, this stone heightens the ability to see and communicate beyond this world. Tanzine Aura Quartz gently opens your crown chakra, creating a channel between the divine and your body. Made from the rare metal indium, this crystal brings mystical qualities to a higher understanding of one's metaphysical abilities. You are more powerful than you think. This is a crystal asking you to connect and tap into your multi-dimensional self, that you have more potential than this reality can even begin to express or to show you or reveal to you. You are more than just this physical body. You are a human being having a reverse set. You are a spiritual being having a human experience, right? And so you are more powerful than you can even conceive of in this human form. And you have the ability to transform, to purify, to cleanse, to heal, to choose your path, to choose your destiny, to choose to commit to yourself, to love yourself, to start a new path, go on a new journey, have a new experience that's going to make you feel more connected, more empowered, more happy, more successful, more centered in your own being and connected to your higher self, to your soul purpose. Alright, and your final card is Rhodonite, and it says compassion, yin yang, and fertility. Rhodonite is a stone of brotherly love, the shared connection between all of humanity. Equilibrium is key for this crystal, which has the capacity to calibrate emotions, balance yin and yang, and source energy from a grounded place. It can bring light to emotional scars from the past, transforming them to foster a stable everyday life. Rhodonite helps remove blame from the situation, whether it's pointed at you or someone else. Accept the situation for what it is and learn to forgive yourself with love, compassion in the process. It's a great crystal to work with. Rhodonite is such a heart-healing energy, but it's very good for helping you to heal your emotional body here, pile number 3. And that is what I was feeling from you at the very beginning, is that there's some emotions that need healing, and more love and energy being poured into your heart space here so that you can heal from wounds of feeling like you yourself weren't good enough just being yourself, that you had to perform a certain kind of role in your life with other individuals in order to feel accepted and appreciated and seen and validated. And it's time for you to now honor your truth and your passion and your desire, your commitment to yourself, and learning to love, to appreciate and validate your truth, and to live from your heart, and not live to create happiness for others if it means that you have to be unhappy with your life, because that's not living. That's just being here, and you're meant to live and to shine and to create as well, and to create from your heart and to experience happiness and joy as well. So step into your power, pile number 3, and reclaim your right to exist and to be happy. You deserve it. You owe it to yourself to commit, to living life for nobody but yourself. And it's not to say that you, should be selfish and egotistical or anything like that. When you live from your heart and you live from your passion, you are, you automatically are very generous at heart, because you're in service. You're doing what lights you up and makes you happy. So you want other people to be happy, and you want them to be living from their heart and creating from their heart and doing what they're passionate about. It's infectious, So it inspires other people to do that as well. Alright, I wish nothing but the best for you, pile number 3. Stand in your power, stand in your truth, and see your right to be happy, and acknowledge it, and love yourself, and pour into yourself. Take care of yourself, okay? Alright, these were your messages. If you resonated with this reading, I would love to hear from you in the comments if you feel like sharing your story. Or if you don't know what to say, just let me know that you resonated with this reading, pile number 3. I'd love to have you back for future readings. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you all in future readings. Y'all take care. Have a blessed day.